happen on the 24th of August, and I'll just have to crush him just the same as I'll crush my liberal opponent.
Okay, so we're talking the 24th of August, huh?
Yeah, 24th of August.
Okay, so if people really love what you have to say, and I know our listeners do because we've actually played a lot of your sound clips over the last few months. Listen, I guess that there's a website they can go to and perhaps donate, because that's what we want to do, is we want to support those candidates that we truly want to get behind.
Thank you. And that website again is www.gowest2010.com.
Okay, same one. Okay, thank you so much. Hold on. We'll be right back after this.
Stand by. We're talking to Lieutenant Colonel, pardon me, Alan West, and we'll be right back after this. War Room. It's America's morning show with Quinn and Rose, driving liberals nuts coast to coast. Keep them away from heavy machinery and don't let them out on the ledge. We're talking to Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. You know, one of the things that I've always said, especially when dealing with people like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, is that if these people really cared about you, if the Democrats really cared about you, you'd have school vouchers by now.
Yeah, absolutely right. And, you know what, I have coined a little bit of a term called dishonest tyranny. That's the message that comes from the left, in that they will go out and talk about how they're doing all of these things to take care of you and providing all these programs that will make your life better, when really it's just a lie. And all they're doing is enslaving you and making you dependent upon them. So it's dishonest in what they're saying, and it's promoting a tyranny. And, you know, it's different in that, you know, once upon a time, you go back through history, the Democrat Party was about enslaving the body, but now it's about enslaving the will and the mind of individuals all across this great land, and that's why we see the problems that we're having. And you know, it's very simple. You look across to Greece, and, you know, when you have people that are retiring at the age of 55 with 80% of their pension, that's unsustainable. And the expansive growth of government that we've seen, which did begin with George W. Bush, there's no doubt about that, but now it has absolutely gone off the chart. And we can't continue on this way. We can't continue to print more money, borrow more money, and, you know, raise taxes. I mean, the production class will eventually stop producing, and I think that's the road that we're on right now.
Well, yeah. So everybody wants to jump in the wagon. Nobody wants to push.
That's exactly right.
I have a good feeling about you. I really do. I honestly do. I don't say that to very many people, but I think
my wife doesn't even say that to me.
No. We don't tell that to our husbands. We may think it, but we don't tell them.
God, why can't we have a president like him?
Maybe someday we will. Maybe someday we will. But Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, I just want to give out your website one more time, because one of the things that we've talked about on this show is supporting candidates, no matter where they are, that really represent us. And we truly believe that you represent not only myself and Quinn, but the rest of our listening audience as well.
Well, that's the key thing. It's a strategic perspective we have to have, because, you know, next January, Nancy Pelosi cannot have the gavel in her hands as the Speaker of the House. So that means you got to win 39 seats, 39 to 40 seats to make that happen. And so I think that as people sit around, they're looking for the candidates they can get behind all across the nation. And we've had incredible success, through the YouTube, through our Facebook, through our website, that people are connecting with our campaign, GoWest2010.com.
Now, I've only got a minute left, so I want to ask you this, because we played the soundbite of you defining Islam for what it is, not just a religion, but an entire way of life, and something that we've been saying here a long time, and they hide behind religion. It was almost prophetic.
Wait, can we keep them on again?
Huh?
Can you stay a little longer?
If you guys don't mind, I can do another 5 minutes.
Well, then good, because I want to talk about that too.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was almost prophetic to hear that soundbite from you several weeks ago, and Eric Holder absolutely refusing.
Yeah, he kind of punted it, didn't he?
Oh my God! We got the soundbite. We'll play it, and and you can comment on that after the news. Okay, so we'll just hold you over. It's really, I love this guy. You know, if you're going to run for president, you got to promise.
We'll help you.
You're going to run for president.
I'll quit my job and help you.
Okay? I like his attitude. I'm going to crush those people.
Well, you know, one thing, too, I want to mention real quick before the break is you were talking about the elections and how many seats we need and so forth. If you go to Real Clear Politics, look at the Friday's story, how bad could 2010 really get for Democrats? It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good at all. So we may even see more than we think.
Well, and the race that you have there in Pennsylvania tomorrow.
Very important. Hold on. We're going to be right back from the break.
Hold on to that thought, and we'll be right back. We're talking to Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. Stand by. From the War Room, it's America's Morning Show with Quinn and Rose, where it's open season on moonbats, no limit. We're speaking to Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, who's running for Congress here on his way to the White House.
Yeah, just to make one little stop on the way there.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Colonel, I have to tell you something. I was telling people that they really need to get out there and to support your campaign financially. And I got a text message from our lawyer, Austin. He said, this guy is great. Send him money.
Send money.
GoWest2010.com. GoWest2010.com.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, so
we're talking about Islam.
Yeah, we're talking about Islam and this mosque going up right near Ground Zero.
That's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And, you know, the thing is, the planned opening of that mosque is on September 11th of next year.
What?
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
that is so offensive on so many levels.
You know, one of the things that I tell folks is that, you know, when tolerance becomes a one-way street, it leads to cultural suicide. And right now, when you think about the fact that, you know, you're going to have a mosque, a facility that will be built at the exact same location that will be, you know, chanting, you know, Allah Akbar, which is the exact same thing that was chanted by the 9/11 conspirators as they flew those planes into the World Trade Tower. So, you know, sooner or later, you have to have courageous leadership that stands up in this country and says no. And I just make it a very simple parallel or comparison. When you look at Saudi Arabia, you as an infidel, a non-Muslim, you're not allowed to go to Mecca. You're not allowed to openly carry a Bible. You're not allowed to, you know, openly display a cross. There are no churches. There are no synagogues. But yet we continue under this guise of, you know, multiculturalism on steroids to just give more and more and more to a theocratic political ideology that is totalitarian and imperialistic in nature. And it's designed. It's been that way since the 7th century.
Exactly.
So we have got to just start speaking the truth and stop being afraid to do that. And what Attorney General Eric Holder did last week, for me, that's grounds for him to resign, because I cannot trust you to protect the American people if you will not stand on principle and recognize who the enemy is. And Sun Tzu said in The Art of War so succinctly, to know your enemy and to know yourself and to know the terrain and countless amounts of battles, you'll always be victorious. We cannot have individuals that are at the helm of this country that refuse to say there's danger out there.
I would like to add and know your history, because in those 100 years, you just talked about the 7th century, between 632 after the death of the Prophet Muhammad and 732, the Arab Muslim realm was extended from a province in Arabia.
Yep, the Saudi Peninsula.
That's right.
It overtook the Persians with Khosroes, who was the emperor. It destroyed them. It took over Levant. It went across North Africa. It went into Spain. It was called Al-Andalusia. And the only place it was turned, as you said, Miss Rose, in 732 A.D., was at the Battle of Tours by Charles Martel, who got the nickname the Hammer.
That's exactly right. And what happened, what people don't understand is Spain, for example, it took them several hundred years to actually reconquest.
That's right.
Hello.
That's right.
The Reconquistas, okay, for Christendom, it took them several hundred years to fight back and regain their land for their religion. And if you look, I have studied graphs of the rise in the number of Muslims right now. The height of the population of Muslims is exactly as high as it was back there during the 7th century, those 100 years.
You bring up a great point, because last summer, Muammar Gaddafi made a statement that a lot of people didn't pay attention to when he said to the people of Europe that Islam will conquer Europe without firing a shot. And they're going to do it through migration and through the demographics.
And we have a zero birth rate in Europe.
That's right. And Mark Stein wrote a great book called America Alone, which did that demographic analysis when